Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you a model that I'm very excited about. This is my Starburst tessellation. I got a comment maybe a few months ago saying that I should do more tessellations, and yeah, I really enjoyed the last one I did, and I was able to come up with this really cool one. And I've been having, I guess, a bit of a hard time designing stuff this week, so being able to come up with this has been really rewarding for me, and I'm very happy to be teaching it to you. So anyways, grab some paper and let's get folding. Alright, so for this model I'd recommend at least a 10-inch square. This model is hard, it's way up there, and I would not attempt this if you're a beginner, and you'd have to be more of an experienced folder, I guess, to make this model. Alright, so let's start white side up, and we're actually going to start by folding in 8x8 grid. So let's valley fold in half. And let's unfold, and then let's valley fold to the center line. Let's unfold, rotate, and repeat. Alright, now let's bring this edge up to the last crease here and fold all the way across. And let's unfold, and then let's bring this edge up to the first crease. Alright, let's unfold and then do the same thing on this side. Alright, now let's unfold, rotate, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Alright, and there is our 8x8 grid. Alright, now we have our 8x8 grid. Now we're sort of going to turn this into a 16x16 a little bit. Actually, you could fold this model with a 14x14 grid, but 16x16 is just a bit easier to make. Alright, so let's first start off by making this bottom crease a mountain fold. I kind of messed up the creases a little bit. These were all supposed to be mountain, but it's okay. And then we can just pleat this to the line right above. And if you're creasing this sharply, make sure to bring this flap up and crease here, because if you keep this flap down, you're going to end up making a crease through this part, and we don't want that. But other than that, that's good. Alright, now let's take this next crease, and then let's make it a mountain. Alright, let's turn it this way to make it a bit easier, and we're just going to pleat it up to the center line. And you don't really want to use your fingernail for this again, because you don't want it to make a crease all the way through here. Anyways, we have that. And then let's take not this one, but this one, and then let's make it nice and pointy. And then let's fold it over to this side just for now. Alright, now we're going to take we're going to do the same thing that we did here. So let's mountain fold this up. Yeah, we can actually unfold this pleat, we don't need it right now. So yeah, just fold this to the center like we did up here. And then let's just take this edge and then fold it to the center like we did before. Alright, now it should look like this, even on both sides. And then now we have this middle crease here. We want to make this a mountain fold. And then we're just going to pleat it up to this side. And let's turn this way, and then let's fold it this way. So we're just folding it both ways. Alright, and then now we want to take this edge and then fold it down to the center crease. And then unfold. Now if you were using a 14x14 grid, you wouldn't have this middle flap in here, but because we're doing a sort of 16x16 grid, we have this flap and we need to make it nice and even. So we made this crease in the center. We're just going to open it and sort of squash it. So along the existing creases, we're going to mountain fold this left side, and then squash it so that the layers are nice and evenly spread in the center. And let's just keep doing that all the way down. Alright, and now we have that. And we're just going to do the same thing in the other direction. So we're going to mount and fold this up, and then pleat it to the closest crease. Then we're going to take this crease up here, mount and fold it, and then pleat it down to the center crease. Alright, now let's rotate and repeat. Alright, now let's take this middle crease and let's pleat it up to this edge. And then fold it down to this bottom edge. And then let's take this edge and bring it up to the center crease. Then let's unfold, and then we're going to squash like we did before. Alright, we should have this, and then if we turn over, this is what our model should look like. Alright, now you can see we have these 4 squares here, and these are going to be the 4 starbursts. So you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 are going to be the 4 starbursts. But we have to raise them up so we can see them a bit better. So let's hold it here, and let's pull this out. And we're going to just make a long crease here connecting the 2. Like that, and then do the same over here. And then now we can kind of squeeze these edges together as a sort of rabbit ear. And what's really important is you want to keep these points nice and sharp, which can be kind of tricky. And then we're going to open here and squash down. Like that. So before, the corners were kind of locked together, and then now we have a free corner. And we're going to do it on this middle side as well, which is a bit trickier. So let's open up just the top layer, because this bottom layer is too small, and then this one has a lot more inside. So let's make a fold all the way across here, and make a fold all the way across here. And then we're going to do kind of like a upside down water bomb base again, where we push these corners in. Let me just make this a little bit sharper. There we are. And make sure it comes to a nice point at the back, that's also important. And then kind of just push it together here. And, oh, this layer might come trapped underneath here. This layer should be with that layer. And then, so let's squeeze it shut. Alright, so that was kind of a bit of a mess, but it's just releasing this bit which was trapped, and then flattening it, like that. And then also, so you see there's 2 layers on this side. We want to open this layer out and then squash it to the side, so that it looks like that on the inside, rather than this. And we're just going to do this to the other 3 corners. Alright, so now you can see we have these 4 free corners, and we're going to do the same thing on these 3 squares. Alright, and now we have all 16 points released. Alright, little mistake I made on mine, it might be the same on yours. You'll see that this layer is loose and it comes out, but then here it's nice and tight. And the reason for that is that these pleats were supposed to be made first. So let's fix that. So we have to undo this, and then we have to pleat on these lines, so make a mountain and a valley. And this can be kind of tricky because this part wants to stick out so much. So let's do that on both sides. And then if you turn over, it can also help a little bit. So yeah, just peeling this open like that, so that the fold is nice and straight. Alright, now we have a straight fold here without any bumps. So we can turn it over and refold these smaller bits. And we can push this in. Sort of just combine the layers together, and then now you can see it's locked at the top. And then now we have to do the same here. As a matter of fact, let's just open this whole thing up if we can. So open up this pleat, and then we're going to open up this pleat and this pleat as well. You just want to make it one straight continuous line. And then we have to pleat on these creases again, which is quite tricky because it's so three-dimensional. So we're going to make this edge a mountain fold and then this crease a valley fold. So you can crimp it here, and then on the other side you can pull it out just to avoid this mountain. Alright, now let's do the same up here, but instead this is a mountain, and then we're valleying to the center line, so it's like this. And this is, again, all trying to be one straight fold. Alright, so this is very messy. This is a lot messier than I expected it to be. But yeah, we should have like a continuous line now. And then now we can start refolding it. So let's push this in, and then push this in. Sorry, I'm getting lost in my own model. Alright, I think I figured it out. So there's meant to be a single line here, and then you can fold these in, and then this is supposed to be a pleat here, so you push this in, and you push this in. Those are the middle ones, yeah, okay, that makes a bit more sense. You push this in, and let's open this one up. Just fixing any little glitches in the paper. This one should go like that. This one push in, and then just flatten it. And make sure all these edges are on the same side as well. Or rather that they're evenly apart from each other. So it should look something like that. Alright, sorry, that was very, very confusing. But what it was is just this middle crease has to be made before these creases. So it should now look like this. Alright, so now after a bit of cleaning up, the model should look a bit like this. Again, very sorry about that being a very messy step, but now this side is locked and this side is locked. Alright, now we have another tricky step. We're going to do 16 unsinks. So let's open up here first, and then with your finger behind, you're just going to push this point out, and then fold again along the creases. And then we're just going to pinch here as well. And then just flatten this down. And then make sure this point comes to, well, a nice point, I guess. Like that. And then we're going to do that on this one, and this one. So just open it up, put your finger inside, and then push it out like that. Alright, now we have these two corners out. Alright, here let's do a middle one. This one might be a bit more tricky. So you have to kind of open it up a bit and then push this in here. Alright, and then now we have that. And then let's do this one, just push it out. Alright, now we have this. And we want to take these middle flaps and then put them in the center. Actually, let's take all of them and put them in the center, kind of like a small blend space, just so that they're out of the way, because when we do these ones, these flaps are going to overlap, so we need them nice and out of the way. Alright, so we have that. Now we're just going to do the same on the other three, so just pulling out the corners, unsinking them effectively, and then doing sort of a blend space. Alright, and now we should have what looks like 4 blend spaces. Alright, now this is already quite a cool tessellation by itself, but we can keep going. So let's work on each one of these at a time. So let's open this one up like that, and then we're going to fold kind of like a pinwheel base. So let's bring this point up to this point. And then let's do that for the other 3 points in this corner. Alright, now we have kind of like a little flower. Alright, now what we want to do is open this up and kind of squash fold this down like that. And then we're going to do the same for the other 3. Like that. And then, again, we're going to do the same on these other 3. Alright, now we have something that looks very similar to before, but if you look inside, we have a lot more detail now that we can use for the next steps. Alright, we're on the home stretch now. All we have to do is a lot of petal folds. So let's zoom in here, and what we're going to do is we'll petal fold this flap up, this top right edge. This is very small, so if you want tweezers, by all means, you could use those. I feel like those would work quite well. Alright, like that. And then we're just going to reverse fold this inside. So mount and fold along this crease here, along the side of the petal fold. And then this layer should come up, and you want to bring this edge to the crease there. And then fold down. And then we're going to do the same here. You want to fold this up, and then push this here. It's kind of a swivel fold. Alright, so that's one petal fold. Now you just have to do that, how many more times? 16 more times. So I'll do this whole thing, like this whole quarter. So again, petal fold this up here, and then swivel fold the right side in, and then the left side in. Alright, like that. And then we're going to do these interior ones. The interior ones are a bit more tricky because this one will overlap with this one, and you could just put one on top of the other. So let's petal fold this out, and then swivel fold this in, and then swivel fold the other side in. You can use that to hide the messiness a little bit, just swivel fold it. And now you can see it looks a little bit cleaner. And then let's do this last one on this corner. Alright, and that is one of the 4 squares. And now we just have to do the same thing for the other 3 once again. Alright, and there we go. And then for these middle ones, you can lay it out in a symmetrical way, like you can have the left one going over, the right one going over, and same with this one, so they're kind of like pointing in a direction. But yeah, other than that, we're done. Yeah, this was a very tricky model. I really hope you're able to fold this. And yeah, in the meantime, have fun folding. Bye.